In this lesson, we are going to begin by covering the first of the sketch commands, and that would be the line command. But before I can do that, I must go into the part environment. I am going to select the new icon. The new SOLIDWORKS document dialog box opens. I'll select part and then OK. Before you begin sketching or before you begin creating features, it is always a good idea to get into the practice of verifying that you are working in the correct units. On the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you can see I am working in millimeter gram second. If you need a different unit, simply click the unit button and choose the appropriate unit. Now let's begin a new sketch. I am going to select the sketch icon. The Property Manager opens, prompting me to select a plane for the sketch. I'm going to go out to the graphics area and select the front plane. Now let's go back to the sketch ribbon and take a look at the line command. Notice the line icon has an arrow pointing down. That means we have additional options. If I select the down arrow, you see we have a line, center line, which is also used for construction lines, and midpoint line. I am going to select the line command. Property Manager opens. I'm going to go out to the screen and left mouse click for the first point. As I move the cursor away from the first point, notice the line is stretching or growing. We call that rubber banding. I'm going to left mouse click again. Notice a line was created. If I move the cursor, I can left mouse click again. And as I do that, additional line segments are added and chained to the previous one. Now to end out of the line command, there's a few ways to do that. You can right mouse click and click on select, or you can tap the escape key, or you can double click. The double click you need to be careful of because if you do not double click fast enough, you will get another line segment. Now let's go back into the line command one more time. If you choose not to have the lines chained one to another and only want to create one line segment, when you left mouse click, do not release the left mouse button. When you get to your second point, release the left mouse button, and notice all you receive is a single line segment. Now let's go back to the line command. We'll select the down arrow, and now let's try center line. Centerline is also used for construction lines in the SOLIDWORKS software. Let's go one more time back to the options, and this time we're going to select midpoint line. For midpoint line, the first point you select would be the midpoint, and as you move your cursor away from the midpoint and you select a second point, that will give you a line segment based on a midpoint. Now what does that mean? Well, if I grab one of these endpoints and hold down the left mouse button and stretch it out, notice that midpoint stays at the center of that line segment. The midpoint line also places a point at the midpoint, and this command is also useful for placing a line centered about the origin. Now, before we close out of this lesson, let's talk about how we delete sketch geometry in a sketch. If all you need to do is delete one or two sketch items, you can simply click on the sketch geometry and then tap the delete key on your keyboard. If you need to delete more than one piece of sketch geometry, hold down the control key, select the geometry. Once everything is selected, tap the delete key, and those items are deleted. Now, if you have several items to delete, we do have a couple more options. If you move your cursor to an open area of the graphic screen and hold down the left mouse button and drag up and to the right, this is called a window box. Notice it's a blue box. The border of the blue box is a continuous line type. Any geometry completely inside of the window box will be selected. So if I release the left mouse button, only two line segments will be selected. I will release the left mouse button, and you see these two items are selected. I'll tap the delete key and they're deleted. Another option is if you click and hold down the left mouse button and drag down and to the left, you receive a green window. And notice this green window is bordered by a dashed line type. This is called a crossing box. Any geometry completely inside of the crossing box or crossing through it will be selected. So pretty much everything on the screen will be selected. I'm going to go ahead and escape out of that command. So once again, you can select individual pieces of sketch geometry or the window box or the crossing box.